Hello, beautiful people. In today's episode for our little podcast, I want to talk to you about letting go. So, we are talking about being able to allow and accept change because we're not very good generally with change. So I want to talk to you about how we can more easily let go of a situation that either doesn't serve us, like an addiction, a behavior, a pattern, or letting go of a relationship, whether it be romantic or a friendship or a business relationship, whether it be a job that you want to go but just can't seem to find that release button to let yourself apply for other jobs, or whether it is that a job or a relationship has ended and you didn't want it to end. You lose your job, the company closes down, your partner says, I'm leaving, it's over, and you just can't let go. Now, I will be bringing in my spiritual team to have their say on this as well, and we'll see what messages come through from channeling directly with you. I'm now asking my team to take over. My team is called Eli, and that stands for Empowering Loving Information. My spiritual team are made up of a variety of different level and different dimensional beings. And for those of you who haven't seen me channel before, for those of you watching this rather than listening, I am a conscious channeler. My eyes stay open, but I tend to look into the distance rather than at the screen, at the camera. When I'm talking to you, I look at the camera, so I'm connecting with you. When my team are talking through me, I tend to look up or look down or look away. I'm looking into the distance, not at you, because that's the way I channel. All right? Okay, Eli, what do you want to say about letting go? You are at a time in your evolution, which is the most important and powerful time in the dawn of mankind. Ever, we would say ever, the first time, including Lemuria, Atlantis, so many different times in your reality. This is the greatest time of change. And with change comes a raising of the vibration into what you have called 5D, 5-dimension, higher consciousness, higher awareness. And you see what this awareness does. It rises within you the awareness of self and the awareness of emotions, your emotions. For the first time, you are really becoming very, very aware, much more aware than you were perhaps 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You're far more aware now of what you feel and what you think and your energy. You are more determined in your power than you were before with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. But most importantly, we would say that this raising of awareness within you, which is the higher vibration of being able to see into yourself. Many of you, of course, want to see into the future and want to see into energy, but seeing into yourself is the most important and where it all begins. So you see into yourself and you see that you are dissatisfied or unhappy or bored or stagnant, as Julie said. Many of these things, many of you are living right now. And this rise within you of self-awareness also rises up self-love, self-care, self-mastery, self-respect, and self-deservability. And you say, I deserve more. I desire more. This will not do. And so you may not be aware of this, and many of you are not on a conscious level, but you are aware in a what we would call higher conscious level, what you call subconscious level, but energetically within your being there is a resonance of desiring change. And the more the light comes in of a higher vibration, the more that you are rising up to meet it. And as you rise up to meet it, you want more. and you say to yourself, I desire more, I deserve more, this is not good enough. And so you begin to resonate with a different frequency. And so the frequency that you are currently on, you begin to push against, rail against, outgrow. The frequency that you are currently in may be so. Your energy expands out, pushes out, and everything begins to feel more and more uncomfortable for you. As it becomes more uncomfortable, the desire to break free of what you would call the shackles that bind you begin to become louder, become more persistent, until you say, I desire change. And so change comes along. And when it comes along, then you are uncomfortable in that transitionary space, the between where you were and where you are going. And then your instinct is to want to run back to where you were, because you knew that space, even if it was uncomfortable, it was familiar. To move into the new space is unfamiliar and a little fearful for you, and so you resist. We would say, you see, that when change comes along, when you have decided you want the change, it is much easier for you to accept it. But when somebody else, as you see it, forces the change upon you, then you find it more difficult to accept. But you see, your being on so many levels has called for that change. It may not have called for it in the way that it has come about, but it has called for change, and so the change comes. And as long as you see that this change has been imposed upon you, you will want to push against it. But if you can see and accept that this change is for your highest good, your best self, your future self, then it is easier for you to accept. And we wanted to talk with you about this particular subject today because we are sending so much more light down to your planet now. The awareness is growing so much. The change that you will all be experiencing over the coming years will be rapid and constant, change after change after change. And if you are stuck in this resistance to change, you will find the coming years very challenging. And you see, they do not need to be challenging. You see, they are wondrous changes. They are changes that are exciting indeed. They are changes for your betterment. They are changes for your planet's betterment. They are changes so wondrous. Please trust us when we tell you these changes are happening, will happen. There is nothing that you can do to stop it, because the rise in consciousness has reached the tipping point several months ago, and there is no turning back. And so what we would encourage you to do is, every time you feel the resistance of saying, I refuse to accept this change, to know that you are putting yourself in a very uncomfortable position, a painful position that can last as long as you allow it to. That the sooner that you can acknowledge that this is painful and difficult for you, and own it, and then release it and move into acceptance of what is, the happier, healthier, and more vibrant your energy and being will be. We know it is hard. There are many books on change that will help you. There are many healers that will help you. But the biggest healer, you see, for all of you is yourself. When you choose, simply choose, I decide I am accepting this situation, even though it is sad, even though it is upsetting. Acknowledge, do not deny it is sad for you, for we know it is. Do not deny it is upsetting for you, for we know it is. But the sooner you can say, oh, well, it is what it is. You see, Buddha came long time ago to show you this acceptance, Jesus came to show you forgiveness and love. Use these tools. There have been many prophets being sent to show you how to manage life, how to manage wellness. Tap into these. Acceptance of what is. Acceptance does not mean it is okay. It does not mean you are saying, I am okay with this. It is all right not to be okay with it. It is all right to not be okay with it. So feel that and allow it, but you can not be okay with it whilst at the same time accepting what is. I'm not okay with it, but I can't change it, and so I move forward, I move on. And that prevents this huge build-up of resentment and pain and sorrow within you. It prevents a stagnancy of holding stuck in a situation that you cannot change. You are helpless to change. But many of you say, I am not helpless, I can make this change. You see, there are many things beyond your control. You are not helpless, but there are things that you cannot control. And neither, we would suggest, should you try, for it is a waste of your energy. You see, resistance is such a powerful energy, and so this is why you become drained and despondent and depressed. Indeed, depression is a result of non-acceptance, of resistance, because the non-resistance, beg pardon, slow down, all right. The resistance, the fighting, the arguing, the denying, they are exhausting, draining energies. A battle is an energy that is draining. So instead, we suggest you use that energy that you have to, instead of fighting against what you perceive has gone wrong with your past, to use the energy to create a wondrous future instead. You will find the energy, instead of depleting, getting lower and lower every day, becomes greater and greater every day, for the energy of creating is self-perpetuating. And so when you take all that wondrous energy that you have and you say, I am using my energy to find new love, to find a new job, to start my own business, to move house, to have an opportunity to create a completely new life. Whatever you want to do with it, the energy will move you forward in a perpetual motion that stimulates. We say this twice, for it is a beautiful word, a wondrous word. Stimulate. You see, the energy of resistance is everything not stimulate. It drains, it depletes, it slows down, it moves into stagnancy, because you see the energy changed because it was stagnant, and when you try to hold on to that energy, you stay in stagnancy. When you let go, you move into allowing wondrous creative energy to come forward to you. Do you see, dear ones? Do you see? You are co-creations with the universe, and it is not just your planet that is rising at this time. It is all of creation. It is all of the multiverses. And Gaia, planet Earth, and you Gaians will not be left behind. It is raising. And you see, if something is falling away in your life because the energies are raising, it means that those energies were holding you back and they are falling away like the shackles that bind you. You are free, you see, to create a new reality that suits the new higher vibrational, new aware, new vibrational you. So embrace the changes, embrace the allowing of what is. Feel the feelings, let them go, and move into allowing. We love you indeed. And that transmission has ended from my team. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps you. All right? Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon.